The criminal justice system is set to benefit from several new pieces of legislation. Among the changes will be the new Evidence Amendment and Criminal Procedure Code bill, which will reform how criminal trials are conducted. The new piece of legislation will also provide for more criminal judges and courts. LaDon Davis sat down with the Minister of State for National Security to get a breakdown of the proposed bills.
Minister of State for National Security Keith Bell says before the government took office last year, one of the commitments to the Bahamian people was to work relentlessly to reduce crime and the causes of crime through swift justice. Bell says the amendments to the Supreme Court Act will eat at the core of the backlog of cases and review new cases by increasing the numbers of criminal courts currently in operation.
What we are seeking to do is to increase the maximum number from 14 to 20. Which means that instead of having 6 criminal courts sitting, we anticipate that by the end of next month, we would have 10 criminal courts sitting all at once. The implications obviously would be, for one, if we're talking about 10 criminal courts running at one time, can we find the requisite number of persons to serve as jurors? That's a very real consideration. And so those are the kind of administrative issues that we're going to have to seek to address to ensure that we have the courts, not only that we don't only have the courts, but we're able to manage and properly ensure that those courts are operating efficiently.
Now, when it comes to the proposed amendments to the Criminal Procedures Code and Evidence Act, Bell says those bills will seek to abolish unsworn statements and allow video-linked trials to be used from the docks for the first time in the Supreme Court.
You may have a case which may be a high-profile case, or you may have a case where you have a witness who may be intimidated, a witness who may be threatened, or even a victim in the same circumstance. And as a result of that, they may be reluctant or hesitant to go before a court.
With the number of disruptive accused persons appearing before the courts and with overwhelming complaints by residents living in eastern New Providence about the disturbance and transportation of prisoners to and from court, Bell says that process will now be eliminated by a remand court at Her Majesty's prisons.
What happens during a remand, the judge would call the person's name and ask the individual whether or not there are any issues or concern, and indicate what date the case is slated to be tried, and then that person will be further remanded. That can be done by video link.
Now, officials believe these proposed amendments will not only save security resources and finances, but will have a direct impact on reducing crime statistics and the backlog of cases in the judicial system. LaDon Davis, ZNS Network News.